Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me on What's Cooking for Will. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a spicy eggplant with pork recipe that I have developed a liking for. When I was a kid, I would not eat eggplant. The way they cooked it, they just sliced it thick and they dipped it in egg batter and rolled it in cornmeal and deep fried it, and I just never could stand the taste of it. But after I got married, went to a Chinese restaurant and my wife ordered this eggplant dish for me with spicy pork in it, and I really liked it. And so I have learned to make it my way, my version. There's no way I can make it exactly as, I ain't got the same equipment restaurants do with the hot stove and the heat and everything, but I think I have brought it down to a version that I like, and I am going to share that with you. And so with no further ado, let's get started. So what I got here is I just got a pan getting hot with some oil in there, and the base for this whole dish is, in this bowl here, I've got 2 large tomatoes diced up, the pulp, the seeds and everything, half a red onion, and we are going to cook this off, and it makes a sort of a gravy is what the Indians call it, because it's also the same base for a curry sauce. And so I am going to be cooking them down, the onions and tomatoes, until they make a nice sauce. And then there's other ingredients. I got garlic paste here. I got 2 tablespoons of garlic paste, and how I got that is I took 4 to 5 big cloves of garlic and an ounce of ginger, just a little piece of ginger. I dice them up real good, throw a little salt on them, and then take the blade of my knife here, and I just keep pressing it down with the palm of my hand until it becomes a paste. And that's how I make my paste. You can buy it at the stores, but I'm not sure about the quality of it or the freshness, so I just choose to make it myself. And you can make yourself a jar, but like I said, it's not hard to make, so I just make it as I'm cooking. I also have about a pound of eggplant. I usually use the Asian style Japanese eggplant, the long ones and round ones, about 3 of them, but I did not have them, so all I had was the typical big round eggplants. And so I used one of them, about a pound of eggplant, and with that I dice it. As you'll see, I chop it into little bitty pieces. They're about 1 inch long, about 1/2 inch thick, and I'll throw them in a bowl, and I'll just put about a teaspoon of salt over them, and then I'll mix them up and then set them to the side and let them sit for like 30 minutes or so, 45 minutes, and that will help soften them, get the moisture running out. They cook a lot quicker because eggplant takes quite a long time to cook sometimes. So I got that going on, and then I got the meat. I got a pound of what I call dumpling meat here. I will put the recipe for it in the description. So yeah, it's got ginger, cooking wine, a lot of good stuff, and so a lot of seasonings in there. And so that will be in the description. And so a pound of it. And then I got my chili garlic paste, and I got 3 Thai chilies, the little bitty red ones. We buy them at the grocery market, at the Asian market, and when my wife, she dries them, and so they last longer and they intensify the heat and the flavor, I believe. So I got 3 of them. But those are optional or not. It depends on whether you like it spicy. I love spicy food. And so with further ado, we are going to get this started. So like I said, I got 2 large tomatoes and half a red onion here. I'm just going to put this in the pan on the stove and get it to cooking down. So yeah, you want to cook this until all the tomatoes and the onions, they form a nice gravy. They'll cook down and sweat down and disintegrate, and you get a nice gravy in there. And this takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and so you can just forward this video until you get to the end part of that. But I'll continue cooking it here, and if you do want to watch the video, it's up to you. So while I'm stirring everything, I'll put in a little music or something for you guys to listen to while you're watching it. So yeah, we'll continue cooking this down until it gets to where we want it to be, and then I will show you what it looks like. Might want to put a little salt in there, that helps to get going. And again, this is, like I said, it's a basis for curry, for what I consider an Indian style curry. You get this down, and then you can put in your curry sauce and the other spices that come with curry, but we might do that on another video. This dish, you can serve it, traditionally it's on steamed white rice. I don't know, you could probably put it on pasta or whatever you want to. It's a sauce, but I like the eggplant in there, and this recipe is going probably serve about 4 people. But honestly, I can eat it all myself, but I'm trying to be a good boy. And also this, we are going to be adding a half a cup of just plain tomato sauce. This is Hunt's, I believe, is what I got here. Just a half a cup it in there, but not at the moment. And with the ginger and the garlic paste and the chilies, we don't add that until after the meat is cooked, until most everything in there. That way, if you add it towards the end of the cooking, all the flavor stays in there and nothing cooks out. And so you get a nice ginger, garlic, chili flavor into the food. And I'll also be adding a tablespoon of this stuff right here. I can't say the name, but what it is, it's a Korean chili paste. It's got a wonderful flavor to it. I use it in a lot of soups and cooking, so I'll be adding that as well, just a tablespoon. And like I said, all these directions and the recipe will be in the description box below. So yeah, I am making these public, so feel free to share it to your friends if you think they might like the food. This is one of my favorite dishes because I don't like eggplant, but I like this. And you can see all the steam. I turn on the hood, but then you couldn't hear me. And this is cooking down to a good, if you use your spatula or whatever you use and just give it a good smash once in a while, the tomatoes will cook longer, they'll cook faster and get to where you need them quicker. Okay, so they have all cooked down pretty good. They're nice and soft, so they'll continue cooking as we cook this dish. As you can see, it just, I don't know if you could get over here. It looks like that. It's just a nice, it's starting to form a paste and get soft. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this meat and I'm going to throw it in the pot with it, and we're going to start cooking that meat off. And at a later time, we'll add a little liquid. You can add water, chicken broth, a little beef broth, yeah, anything like that there. About a half a cup of it, that'll add some liquid. It'll also help the eggplant cook. So yeah, this would be a good time to fast forward if you just don't want to sit and watch me stir this meat up. So that's starting to cook up there. The meat's starting to get done. The moisture will come out of it. And so here's where I'm going to add, I don't know, just I like chicken broth, so I'm going to add a little chicken broth to it. Like I said, about half a cup, just enough to give it some liquid in there to get everything all blended together. And when you put the eggplant in there, it's going to absorb that liquid. And so this dish is not a very soupy one. It's pretty good for rice. It's a good rice topping dish. With that in there, I'm going to go ahead and add the tomato sauce. And the chili sauce. This stuff is a thick paste, and a lot goes a long way. So as you can hear, just a tablespoon of it. You put that in there and just let it cook in there. And this is also where you put in your garlic paste and your ginger paste. Just throw that in there. And with the chilies, I always like to give them just a good chop up. That way the seeds come out and all that flavor gets in there and the spiciness. So just take your own knife and discard the stems. And just toss them in there. It don't look like much, but these little chilies pack a wallet. So what I'm looking at here now in this pan is, you might be able to see a little bit, it almost looks like a spaghetti sauce that you're starting to cook, a nice meaty spaghetti sauce and meat sauce. but it will cook down, and like I said, once I throw an eggplant in there, it's going to suck up that juice. And to this, we're also going to add just a little bit of soy sauce. This is a superior dark soy sauce, so it's kind of dark and heavy, so it don't take much. About a tablespoon or so. And some black pepper. With black pepper and salt, it's as much as you like. Like I said, I like things on the spicier side, so I put quite a bit of spice in there, but that's always to your liking. And the last thing we're going to put in there besides what I just put in there is we're going to add just a little bit of fish sauce. That's optional, but I like the flavor it gives it just a little bit. So we got this, I believe it's called Viet Cong. We get it from the Asian market here, and it's a really good fish sauce. If you got shellfish allergies, don't use this, because it is made out of shrimp, I believe. That's what it's made out of. So yeah, you'll definitely get a reaction. So this is cooking up real good. And so what I'm going to do now, all the meat's good. Give it a little taste test here to make sure it's spiced up right enough. Very good. Now here goes the eggplant. We're going to put that in there, and our goal with the eggplant, if you want to cook them until they're almost falling apart, they will cook down and get really soft and mushy, and that's what you want. Only that's what I want. And once it gets to that point, you just set it off the heat, covered up. I got these eggplant in here. Put a lid on it, let it cook, probably another 10-15 minutes or so. Give it a stir once in a while, and once it's done, take it off the stove, let it set to continue soaking up the juices. You dice up a lot of little green onions if you want to and put it on there. I won't be doing that today, but you can garnish it with whatever you want. And like I said, you can serve it with rice. It's good the next morning. You put it in the icebox overnight, the refrigerator overnight. It's really good after that. The next morning you heat it up again, everything soaks up. It's really good. So what you want to do is you want to cook this until, like I said, eggplant become tender, and the liquid will start getting thicker, and it will start evaporating. And when it gets to that point, that's when it's ready. You want a nice, not liquidy, but thick. That way you can put on your rice and it sticks to your rice, because you don't want a bowl full of rice that's got water. You want something that's thick that's going to stick to your rice, and that way it's going to taste good. So yeah, we're going to continue to let this cook. And when this is done, I'll put it in a plate so you can actually see what it looks like. But yeah, growing up, Mom, she always cooked the eggplant. She just sliced it in big old thick slices, put it in the egg batter, salt and pepper, and then roll it in some cornmeal, and then deep fry it. I ate it, but didn't like it. But growing up, we didn't have a choice. If Mom said you're gonna eat it, you're gonna eat it. There's no, oh, I'd rather have a peanut butter sandwich type deal. It's you eat what Mom told you to eat, or you didn't eat it all. So, but now as an adult, I gotta find ways to cook it the way I like it, and this is the way I like it. I am going to turn on this fan here, but if it gets too loud, I'll just edit it out. So, magic of film, pre-recording. So I'm going to let this continue to cook, and when it's done, I'll be back and I will show you what it looks like. Alright folks, so here it is. This is what it looks like it gets done. I put it on a plate, garnish it with little sesame seeds. Like I said, you can dice up some green onions, throw on there. You serve it over rice, pasta, whatever you want. Just eat it by itself as I do. It is a good meal. It's spicy, it's filling, and it's pretty cheap. It's just some pork and some spices and some eggplant. So yeah, so hopefully you give it a try. Let me know if you like it or you don't like it. So for now, this is Willis, of course I'm Willis, and this is What You Cookin' Willis. Next time, I believe I'm going to be sharing with you how I make my version of a Korean tofu soup, sundabu. It's a kimchi tofu soup. It's one of my favorite soups at all. Very simple to make. Until then, good eats.